Sonny. Let's see, ask Sonny if he still likes this.
Well, Lily's, after about 3 years of frustration, I finally got one of them trapped. The guy that I have looked up to and idolized for a number of years, and I know what you think of the world of the Osborne brothers, and here's Bobby. Hi, Bobby.
How are you, Frank, or which one I should say? Lillis. Lillis. I'll
That's
say
right.
hello to
Lillis is the one in Sweden. Bobby, we've been planning an interview with you and Sonny for the last 3 years since I started doing bluegrass and country correspondence for the United States for Country Corral, and just never been able to trap you, but the time has come.
Well, we're sitting out in a field here near Attica, Indiana, at your camper, and we're going to work here today along with some more people. I don't know. I do know that Lester Flatt's group is on it, but I don't know who else.
I'm sure we're going to see a good show. I know that's guaranteed.
I think so. It's a pretty nice day for it. I hope we have.
You know, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions on my side of the angle before we get into Lily's questions that he has written to you. First of all, I'd like to know where you first started singing high lead harmony, and is it your original idea or did you learn from somebody else?
No, it's our own idea. The first song that we did was Once More, that we tried that on. And
which was a hit, by the way.
Yeah, it was something different that people that hadn't heard in that type of trio before.
Sure.
And but I don't know, we're still doing the same thing today that we did then. But I mean, we've used different instruments, and of course, different sounds and things like that on record. But that's Once More was the first song that we tried that on, and the high lead and everything, we just kind of more or less backed into it, I guess you'd call it.
Sounds familiar.
We got to sing that type of harmony, and it worked out fine, and we liked it, and it was a little bit different. So that way I do now I do most all the lead, and of course it's a high lead, as you say. But some of the songs that we recorded where I do tenor, I still do sing tenor on a lot of things, you know. And that, I think that was about 1956 when we recorded Once More.
That's my next question, because I've got the original 45, and I've got it on the MGM album, but I didn't know when it was recorded.
I believe I've got pretty close to the exact date at home. It's either 56 or early 57, one of the two.
Bobby Lillis has written a bunch of questions to me that he'd like me to ask you and Sonny, so if we can get this paper right and see it. First of all, why did you become a musician and why country?
Why did I become a musician? I got to listen. Ernest Tubb was the first guy I ever got acquainted with in country music, and of course I tried to imitate him until my voice went from low to high, and I had to pick on somebody else then. I've always liked music ever since I was just probably 11, 12 years old. My daddy bought me a guitar, and I still got it, by the way.
That's a great thing.
And my daddy taught me 3 chords on the guitar, and what I've learned about singing and playing since that, I've done it on my own. And I've always liked music, and I guess that's why that I got started into it. And of course, what was the other thing you asked me?
Why were you country?
Oh, country's what's selling.
I'll drink to that.
So.
I'll drink to anything. Now the next question is, how do you feel about the music situation today? Where do you think country music is headed as such, and the same for bluegrass?
Well, country music and bluegrass, all types of music in general, I think it goes in a cycle. Country music today is pretty close to the point where what we used to call pop music.
I agree.
Or semi-pop. It's still country music. They've added a lot of people misunderstand. I used to think that you'd stay with. I used to criticize Ernest Tubb a little bit because he was my favorite, because he put a piano in there and you went to the modern sound, but Ernest did the same thing that we've done with bluegrass. He just kept up with the time, you know. And of course, new ideas, new people coming along in country music, new equipment, new types of recorders. They get different sounds. It just all goes together. And as far as country music, it's just like pop music. Bluegrass has got to advance too. I think that we have proved that you can take and modernize bluegrass music, and we've just kind of going in the middle of the road with bluegrass. I mean, as far as we're doing country and bluegrass also.
Well, I've always felt, and I've been criticized in certain areas for saying this, but I've always said that the Osborne brothers have been about 50% country. because one of the first songs that I remember that we did was called "It Hurts to Know," which you can't call bluegrass, but it's definitely country.
I
My
think
opinion.
so. We've always used, now Sonny and me have never took our, if we'd have took our instruments off the records and everything, then I would think that a lot of people would have a lot of, I mean the bluegrass fanatics, so to speak, would have a lot to gripe about. But we've left the mandolin and the banjo on there. We took away the fiddle and the dobro, but we just want to be different from everybody else. There's no use.
You got to be different. I wrote an article for a country chorale in Sweden one time, and I said they can call it bluegrass, they can call it country. And I said, as long as it's Osborne Brothers music, that's what we're after.
Well, I appreciate that.
I mean
But
that,
they ain't nobody likes bluegrass any better than I do. And I've got plenty of tapes and records and of all sorts to prove it. But when you get into it to where you're gonna make a living at it, so to speak, and put all your time, your heart and soul into it, then comes time for you to try to get something of your own. And we just figured that what we're doing today, Sonny and me was thinking about this 10 years ago. Well, the type of what we're doing right now is making a big sound out of bluegrass, and of course to do that we had to add this and take away that, and it gave us a modern country bluegrass sound. I mean,
I like it, whatever it is.
I love it.
Great. What's your future recording plans, Bobby? What's coming up next?
We got to get busy and make some more records. Dale Sled left us first of the year. He was sang with us for 5 years, and Ronnie Reno was playing the bass, and Ronnie has switched over and playing the guitar and singing with us. And we've got Ray Kirkland playing the electric bass now. And we've never made any records with us and Ronnie, but I feel sure that we'll have a much more balanced trio than we've ever had. But not taking any away from Dale Sled or any of the other guys that sing with us. But we have a real good trio. But now we got to get busy and make some more records. We got an album that we got to record for later on this year. And we've got a new single record for Decca. It's called Beneath Still Waters, and a song called Muddy Bottom, which Boodle O'Brien, the same guy that wrote Rocky Top, wrote Muddy Bottom.
If it ain't like Rocky Top, I'll take 2 of them right now.
It's got a good arrangement on it. We've added the strings, 6 fiddles and 2 cellos. We've added the strings to both sides of it, and I think it's going to be a good song. Muddy Bottom is a up-tempo type. It's not as fast as Rocky Top or anything like that now, but Beneath Still Waters is a ballad, and it's got.
Is Rocky Top one of the fastest songs you ever recorded?
Oh, I guess let me see.
I went back through all the albums, and really that just hit me as we were talking.
I think probably Rocky Top would be just as fast as anything.
I'll check it out and let you know.
I know. I see. I'll tell you, the last recording of Ruby, the Decca record of Ruby, is faster than Rocky Top.
Is it?
It's faster tempo.
Haven't checked them that close together. Have you guys ever been in Sweden?
Never have. I'd love to go, but we've never had a chance
No
to go.
plans yet, I guess.
We got plans if they'll just come through.
Lily's wanted me to ask you about the Gary Burton session. Do you recall playing a Gary Burton jazz session?
I was glad to get in there, and I was glad to get out.
Yeah.
Sonny did a wonderful job playing. Gary came to town, and he did everything in an album that a guy could possibly do. He put every type of music, country, bluegrass. He got me to play. I played the mandolin on a couple of tunes. Sonny played the banjo, and he used just everything he possibly could to put in that album. Of course, he's strictly jazz.
Now, he has a question here. He wants to know if you know who is playing the bass and hum at the same time. It's almost similar to Slam Stewart's way of playing the bass with the bow and hum an octave higher, though this bass man picks. Friend, you just lost me.
Pick the bass with the bow and hum.
No, who is playing the bass and hum at the same time?
On what?
On this Gary Burton session.
Oh, I would imagine. I don't know that guy's name.
Or maybe Sonny will. We'll hope so.
He definitely did it, though.
He did hum.
It might be Gary himself.
I only heard part of this, Bobby. I don't have the album myself.
I don't either.
I'm not a jazz man. I'll be faithful with you. Have you ever played any other jazz session, he wants to know?
That's the, let me see. No, that's the only one.
Do you really dig jazz, or is it something to sit down and listen to?
Yeah, I like it. I don't understand it all that well. Sonny understands it a lot better than I, but what I can understand, I love it, and I love to pick it sometime, but it's hard to, it's just a little hard
I know it's
for me to
wild.
understand.
What do you think's your best song you've ever done?
Rocky Top, I'd have to say, now Ruby over a period of years
Yeah.
would be the best selling, most requested, most played, uh, the most talked about song, I guess, over a period of years. But Rocky Top, for the time that it's been out until now, Rocky Top has been the best thing that ever happened to us.
I think Rocky Top has been the best. What if you can classify songs in styles, which I think is very hard to do, is the best song in bluegrass style that I've heard yet.
I think so,
What you got?
definitely. I
Although
believe
I
it.
love Ruby.
I love her too. She's been good to me.
Maybe you ought to write a song called Ruby, She's Been Good to Me.
Oh, she's been good to a lot of people, I guess. Buck Owens just got a wonderful
Hey,
record.
we like that
Ruby.
Buck Owens.
Roy Clark. I don't know if you've heard Roy Clark's recording,
I
yet,
haven't,
but
no.
he and Buck Owens and Roy Clark. No, I'm sorry, Roy Clark doesn't have Ruby. Buck Owens does. Roy Clark and Buck Owens both recorded Rocky Top. They have good records of Rocky
I
Top.
haven't heard either one of those. I've heard Buck Owens Ruby, and I've heard the other one of Buck Owens, which I can't think of the name of. I was talking about a while ago.
Believe it or not, Buck Owens did Rocky Top faster than we did on the record.
He did?
Yeah, ours is
I bet.
2:35 and his is 2:28. So he's moving on.
That's flying, boy. Do you have any favorite musicians that you particularly enjoy?
Well, I've got a bunch of favorites, I guess. I would think I don't know how to say that really, but there's a lot of guys that I love to hear play. But over a period of years, in our sessions that we have recorded, I think that I would pick a guy by the name of Ray Eddington. He's been on every.
Bass man.
No, he's plays a rhythm guitar.
Sorry about that. I thought you could
Plays a flat top guitar. He on Rocky Top and some of the songs that we've got. Roll Muddy, no, not Roll Muddy. Well, he's on Roll Muddy River, but Rocky Top and this Son of a Sawmill Man is where he really stands out on a high string, flat top guitar. And of course, on a tune like Charlie Cotton that we did one of our earlier records, he plays the guitar with his fingers, and it sounds a little blues type guitar. But I would say that Ray Eddington is one. Ray Eddington is one of my favorite musicians, I'd say.
Fine. How do you feel about the international lineup of bluegrass bands? And you might want to talk a little about the Tennessee Travelers you met last year.
I think it's wonderful, Frank. These guys, they impressed us, you know, and of course over here we've got a lot more to learn from.
I think so.
I know that people in Sweden, and of course Japan. I met a bunch of guys from Japan
Bluegrass
here.
45, maybe? Is that the band?
Believe so. They came
They
to
were at Bean Blossoms last month.
Well, that'd be the same one. They came out in Berryville also, and these people, of course, people that's from other countries, they all they got to go on is just records that people like us make over here. Of course, we people like us have lived this music for years. The other thing, bluegrass, I think it's just great. The people that are interested in bluegrass this day and time in other countries, Sweden, Japan. There's I don't know about Germany. I'm pretty sure there's probably some.
I have
people
heard
in
of
Germany,
something. I'm
though.
not too sure if they got a full band, but I've heard some fellows in Germany. They have a band from New Zealand that was at the Bean Blossom Bluegrass Festival.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. The Hamilton County Bluegrass Band. It's them, and their tenor singer was hoarse and couldn't sing, but yet they sounded great. And I wish you could have heard it.
These guys, I heard them last year. I believe they're the same ones that were down at Camp Springs, North
It must
Carolina.
be a different one because they
Might
said
be.
they'd never been to the United States before.
Well, that's probably a different one then, but every year, you know, there's more people coming from other countries over here, and I think it's great.
Well, I do too. Bobby, you don't know how much I appreciate taking time for this interview.
It's always a pleasure, Frank, to talk to somebody like you. And I want to let me say, for Lily's and all the rest of them that's in his congregation or his group or the group together, I hope that you all, hope you the best of luck, all the luck in the world, because you're going to need it, honey.
But Lily's, of course, he runs the magazine Country Corral. Now, when you talk to some people who've been over the London Music Festival, he's been over there and he's met a bunch of them. And when you're around with, I think, Conway Twitty that I remember of, and Loretta Lynn are some people he's gotten acquainted with. And you might mention Country Corral and they might remember Lily's. We hope they will.
We sure do. Country Corral I'm going to take some copies of this back to Decca. And I know that Decca Records in Nashville are familiar with it because they sponsored part of the Decca people like Loretta and Conway went over there last year or first this year, I think. We were scheduled to go on that thing, but we were already booked and tied down to a contract of so we couldn't go on that thing. But we're sure looking forward to it. But
maybe you'll make it next year.
hope so. I really
Looking
do.
forward to hearing some picking and singing. I got a request, and it's still my favorite song of all the recordings that the Osborne brothers have ever done. Can you still do the Bluegrass Express?
I haven't tried that in
Oh, blast.
haven't tried that in a long
You know,
time.
I still
Frank.
love that.
Well, Sonny, me, and Dale Sled used to do it without too much problem, but no, Sonny, me, and Ronnie have never tried that thing. Since
Well,
we
I
were
tell you
singing.
what, I
You're the
wouldn't
only ones
try
ever
it.
requested it. You're the only ones ever requested it.
I still request it, and we appreciate the time for the interview, and thank you so much, Bobby.
Thank you, Frank, and best of luck to Country Corral.
Thank you. Find a button.